welcome to Tiny Mighty Kitchen, where I show you how to make big flavor, whether it's on a tiny budget, in a tiny space, or with a tiny amount of time. And right now, I'm operating on a tiny amount of sleep. But it's okay. It's okay, because I'm really excited for today's recipe. We're going to be making beignets. So you have my little beautiful Cafe du Monde. I like to say Cafe du Monde for my last name. Anyway, but beignets, if you've ever been in New Orleans, you know what a beignet is. If you've watched the very iconic Princess and the Frog movie, yes, with Princess Tiana, also lots of beignets in there as well. Essentially, it's a little donut. It's a little poof, airy donut. It's giving really golden on the outside, all the powdered sugar that you're choking on, and then you bite into it, the steam releases, and it's nice and hollow and kind of fluffy on the inside as well. So they're actually much easier to make than you may imagine, and as always, you probably already have the ingredients in your home. So we need all-purpose flour, 2 eggs, granulated sugar, active dry yeast, some salt, as always, melted butter, whole milk, and then we're going to grab some water to actually bloom that active dry yeast. Oh, and of course, powdered sugar. What is a beignet without the powdered sugar? So sometimes I like to mix the sugar and the coffee. Maybe I'll try one of those. And I also have some dulce de leche to put on top. Didn't have time to make it, so I just bought some instead. Tiny mighty things, you know? Anyway, let's get started. All right, so I'm actually going to bloom this active dry yeast. So pretty much to bloom means to feed it. This little buddy right here, believe it or not, they're alive and they need to eat, which I can relate. I'm alive. I also like to eat as well. I'm gonna grab the cup of warm water. I think the ideal temperature for the water is like 100 to 110 degrees. I'm saying this off the top of my head, and I could absolutely be wrong and get dragged for it, but I just know that the water needs to be warm. God damn. Let's go. All right. There we go, a cup of warm water. This reminds me of when you like heat up the baby bottles, you know, and you gotta get it hot, and then you like put on your wrist to see like if it's too hot for your wrist, like don't feed it to the baby. But you want it to be warm enough so the baby's like, Similac, delicious. So we have our 1 cup of water. Just gonna add this in here. Sugar. For it to, you know, delicious. And then the active dry yeast over the top. I'm gonna go in, kind of stir just a little bit. Just a little bit. I want it to get that sugar water. Oh, I always get so nervous when I work with dry yeast because it's like, is this gonna work or not? There's no turning back. There's no turning back. But also if it doesn't, I can do it again. Like it's fine. And now you're gonna let this bloom for 10 minutes. So we're gonna give her privacy so that she can eat in peace and then come back. I'm also gonna cover it up with this kind of warm towel or a paper towel that I wring out just to keep the heat in and of course privacy. You know, maybe the yeast is shy and it's like, whoa, y'all cannot be watching me while I do this. There we go. All right, 10 minutes on the clock. We'll check back. So it's been 10 minutes and we're going to, oh, I should have knocked. Okay, we're gonna knock and we're gonna open up and success. Success. So it's blooming, it's poofy, it's foaming, it's eating. And the smell is kind of like fermenty, like alcohol. It's kind of funky. It's kind of funky, but that's good. That's good. That's what I want. She's alive. It looks fantastic. I'm very pleased with it. So I'm very gently gonna whisk in the remains of the sugar. The whole milk. Oh, also I should have noted before that these ingredients are at room temperature. The butter, obviously, because it's been melted, but the milk and the eggs, you want that at room temperature as well. I have this melted butter. Oop. Okay. And then we're going to do 1 egg and then 1 egg yolk. So, just going to separate. Oop. Thank you for your service. And then just whisk this up again. Tiny Mighty Kitchen things, right? Tiny Mighty, what do we call them? Tiny Mighty tips? That's cute. We'll see if it sticks. Let's give it some time. For now, we'll call it Tiny Mighty tips. Try to clean up as you go, okay? I'm putting things in the sink as I go, you know, trying to keep things mies, but like, you start cooking in a small space and you have stuff everywhere, and then you're like, God damn it, everything looks terrible. Try to clean as you go. Keep it clean, keep it efficient, right? Fun part, we're now going to add our flour in a little bit at a time and use the hook attachment, the dough attachment, to bring it together. We have the 4 cups of all-purpose flour. Almost forgot the 2 tablespoons of salt, 2 teaspoons, sorry, of salt. Oops, sorry. So we're gonna use this little guy, 3rd cup. Oops. And right now I'm gonna put it on stir. And then slowly add this flour in. I enjoy making beignets here at home, but I really miss getting them in New Orleans. I miss going to Cafe Du Monde. It's just different. Like, you know, you can make them in the morning, and have them with coffee. You're like, oh, that's so nice. But then, like, you want to hear, you know, a quartet outside, or like a horse that's like galloping, or like everyone's beautiful, you know, Louisiana accent. So that you cannot get. You know, or maybe you can. Maybe you can. Maybe you're watching this and you have a Louisiana accent and you're like, I could do that. Super sticky, kind of tacky dough. But don't worry. Once we give it some time to rest, and actually, I'm going to let it knead, not a knead, but like, you know, a few more times. And then we're going to leave it to expand. And then once we dust the countertop, it'll be able to pick up a bit more flour and be a bit more easy to handle. And invest in a spatula, or rubber spatula. Please invest, as I can put the pressure, it doesn't bend. It helps me kind of shape the dough like that. See? It's already starting to bubble. The yeast is already starting to, like, you know, wake up, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands, cover this up. Now we're going to let it proof. If you bake, if you fry, if you whatever, any kind of dough, you already are familiar with proofing. But essentially, we're going to put a warm towel on top of it to kind of create that's greenhouse effect for it. And from like 90 minutes, you can proof from like 90 minutes to 2 hours. Even maybe like a little more than 2 hours, like 2 hours, 30 minutes. I'm just going to go ahead and do it for the 90 minutes because it still gets the job done. And then it'll be ready to roll out, poof it up, cut it up, beignet style. But this is probably the longest part, honestly, of the recipe. It's just like sitting your ass down and waiting for it to proof. But it's worth it. It's totally worth it. So. Oh, I see. Like restaining it so it's like nice and here with the sauna towel, we're going to whoop, drape it, and we'll be back in 90 minutes. Cute. 90 minutes, that is 1 hour. So it's been 90 minutes. We're gonna take our dough out and well, bam! It is doubled. It's looking poofy. It's looking full of life. Smells super fermenty-ish, bread-ish. Anyway, this is what you're looking for. You want, there's a little bit of movement. I know if I move around, there's gonna be little air pockets in there. Now it's still a wee bit tacky, so I think once I dust the flour out and it starts to pick up some of that flour, it'll be a little less tacky, but I probably shouldn't have done that. But anyway, so I'm going to lay out some flour. This is about a 1/4 cup of flour. Just have it on hand. Yeah, another spatula, just so I don't get it all tacky in my nails and stuff. All right, let's pull them off. You can see it's all stringy and kind of airy in there. Ooh, come on. I'm gonna flour some at the top here. Flour my hands. Lots of flour. And now what I'm gonna do, kind of work the dough. Not really work it, but just get some of this flour on it. So it's a bit more easy. I'm not sure what to call this technique, to be honest. This is just, let's gather this dough. And I'm just gonna fold it over. Honestly, and it feels extremely light and like floofy, which is great. So I'm not too worried about that. I feel like we just watched Nadia bakes and I'm just like, how does she put in a little circle like that? Okay. I'm gonna try to. I'm cutting this just because I don't need all of this dough actually. I'll put this back in the bowl. I'm telling you, this looks crazy, but it's worth it. So I'm gonna do my best to roll this into somewhat of a square, not even, maybe, ooh, look at little air pockets. Maybe more of like even a rectangle. But I also want the dough to have like, I want to say like a half, not even, maybe like a 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, let's see, of thickness. It was the first time I did this, I did them too thin, some of them too thin, so when they puffed up, like it didn't poof the way I wanted. But in the ones that were a little thicker, had great results. Yeah, that's honestly about what I want. And then there's this side that's like a little thinner, but it's okay. It'll do. So I'm gonna let this rest for a second. I'm actually gonna turn the oil on because it'll be super annoying for me to cut this and then wait for the oil. So, and you can just use like regular vegetable oil, Western oil, you know. And of course, I'm not doing this in a deep fry. I'm actually doing this in my Staub braising pan, but it also conducts heat really well, right? Obviously, because you know you use it for braising as well. I fried it here before. I'd rather enjoy it. You could also do a cast iron pan. You could do a deep fry. You can do a Dutch oven. The possibilities are nearly endless. And ideally, I want this oil to be from 350 to 375. I have yet to replace my oil thermometer. But if you have an oil thermometer, that's going to be the temperature that you're looking for. And then once you start fry, oil changes, but we'll get there. I'm getting ahead of myself. So that oil is on. I'm going to dust this just a little more. And a moment of truth. And you can see the little pockets of air. I'm going to try my best not to like disturb those. There we go. And the motion that you're trying to do, try not to like so much. So I'll do like, and this is about the length, honestly, or the width of the circle, the square. So I could just do here and do one of those and make sure it's nicked there. Come in and do another one of those. This is exciting. Look at that the poofification, right? Like you touch them and they just seem so like delicate. I'm hoping this translates to the oil or I'm gonna be mad. So when you're frying, like you want this to be as like seamless as possible. We don't have time, like, you know, you want to set yourself up for success. So a couple of tools I like to have, since these are a bit more delicate, I just have these like cute little super long fish tongs. You can use like regular tongs. A fish spatula might work as well. But then when you take them off, get yourself a sheet tray lined with a cooling rack, lined with a paper towel. So once the oil starts to set and like the powdering set, it can be caught on this paper towel, right? But then also it just looks good. It's very like visually appealing to have them laid out like that. And it makes cleanup a lot easier, you know? So what you want to do is you want to like kind of guide it into the oil like that. And then wait for it to pop up. This oil might not be hot enough just yet, but that's why we're testing it. When it hits the oil, it immediately like poof, expands like that. So the oil definitely needs to be hot enough. I think this could be bumped up a little more, but so far so good. It actually looks really nice. It's opening up, it's poofing out. Got the little air pockets. I'm trying not to touch those because that's what you want. You want to have plenty of these little pocket bubble things. So then when you bite into it, it's like, So little tester came out great. We got the, oof, yes. Even when I squeeze it, like hot air like kind of comes out on this one little hole there. That's what you want. Oh, with the powder Ha ha ha! All right. You should give one of these. You lay it out. And you know, it takes a little bit of time. Sometimes they want to be finicky. So if your first few like aren't like, oh, perfect, it's okay. So these definitely need to be darker, but now we're going to flip them. You see? It's the air. It's the like, come on. I would say you can't get this shit at home, but you can. That's why I'm doing this recipe, because you can do this at home. Damn, I just realized that I ate that piece. I was like, I want more. Oh, I ate it. I'm telling you, this is, as someone who is still afraid of active dry yeast, like, I'm here to tell you that this recipe is doable, very user-friendly. Oh, wow. Look at them just... Wow. Golly, mister. Look at it. Like, you just know you're going to bite into that thing. It's going to be crazy. All right. So I'll pull these off because the residual heat is going to cook them. I'm going to try to push through some more so we have enough to do a nice powdered sugar situation. Also, don't crowd your pan. Never crowd your pan, period. But, like, definitely for this. Don't crowd your pan. Be patient. Easy, breezy, beautiful. Beignets. Wow. Woo! Okay. Don't want to waste any time because I need them to be hot when I do this. So the best way to powder these honeys is use our handy dandy sifter. Makes things so much easier, so much nicer looking. I'm gonna do something chaotic and put a whole bunch in it here. So this first one, we're just gonna do the powdered sugar. What you wanna do is just hold it. Amazing. And then this next little circle, gonna give the old razzle dazzle. Add some coffee into my mix here and see if it works out the way I want it to. If it does, then it does. If it does, it does. Maybe a better way would be to like ground this together, but who cares? We're being chaotic right now. Let's see. Can I get some coffee in there? Barely. Okay, a little bit. I can see a little bit of the coffee action, right? Yeah. Let's try it. Maybe see. Let's see. I think this is a perfect specimen of a beignet. Oh, yeah. Come on. Look at that. And you can feel it. Like, well, you can't, but I can. Look at that. Boom, boom. Boom. It's like Alien versus Predator. I was going to just do that. But, fucking little alien just, like, comes out like, mama. Great series. Anyway, it's airy, and you can feel that. You press it, the outside is nice and crispy, and then, of course, it has that overwhelming amount of powdered sugar that is designed to choke you. It is. It's designed to dry choke you from the inside. And that's what makes it so much fun, right? So, well, okay, yeah. Almost took me out. But you have the inside. It's all open and airy. All those nice little pockets in there. That's what it's all about, man. And I'm gonna try this dulce all that shit. But these are really good for breakfast. I know people see them, you know, when you're a tourist and you're going down to the cafe and all that. But like, you could actually just whip up some of these for breakfast. Get you, you know, a cup of chicory coffee. Ooh, yeah. Cut the camera. Cut the camera. It's very erotic. It is. It's very not safe for work. Yeah, very good. It's giving 21 and up. But this is good. Like and subscribe for more Tiny Mighty Kitchen and more Tiny Mighty recipes. Find me on Instagram at Kia Cooks. You can head to the description for the recipe. And that's it. You know the vibes. Get out of my house. Enjoy the rest of your day. Go get some sunshine. Drink water. These are so good. There's no way I can eat all of these. I'm already sick. But this is good.
Do your short stand-up set.
I know. So, ooh, I do have a joke. What is the what is the difference between a like dirty bus station and a lobster with implants? Well, one is a One is a crusty bus station. The other is a busty crustacean. Yeah! Woo, that was good.